This is the M60. This is the Tier 10 American Premium that I was lucky enough to get a few years ago as a generous gift by Wargaming. Now Wargaming have released it again. It was part of the New Year's event, and some people now are lucky enough to have this in the garage. Or are they unlucky to have this in the garage? Well, let's find out. Well, hello again everybody and welcome back to Fujit's Blitz, and this time we're having a look at the M60. This is the American Tier 10 Premium Medium Tank. Now, I was lucky enough to get this a few years ago when Wargaming gave it to me as a Prezi, and I can't remember why. And to be honest with you, I couldn't stand the damn thing. It's a difficult tank. And, you know, there it is there. That's what it looks like. It looks beautiful. But when you then click onto the armor inspector, it is paper thin. I mean, to be honest with you, most tanks on the battlefield at Tier 10 can sneeze on you and will penetrate you. It's that simple. As you can see, the front of the turret is pretty solid. But when you then stick it in against a mouse, which you will come against, it's pretty penetrable across the board. In fact, you're going to be hard put to bounce anything in this tank. But what about the tank itself? Well, stat-wise, it's got 1,900 HP. It's got a fantastic view range of 313 meters. Its DPM is not too bad at just over 3,000. Penetration is running with the calibrated shells on the standard AP at 263. Your average damage, top-end alpha, will be 350 on your standard APCR, 300 on your heat, but the penetration obviously goes up with the heat to 330. It then has a rate of fire of 8.5 shells per minute, which equates to a reload time of just shy of 7 seconds. Aim time is just shy of 1.5 seconds, and its gun depression is a whopping 10 degrees, which isn't bad for a Tier 10. So here I am rolling out on Black Goldville. Now I've gone to my usual spot when I need to go haul down. As you can see, we've already done just over 1,000 damage. We've bounced nothing so far, and somebody's taken a pop at us, because that's what normally happens. To be honest with you, I find this one of the hardest, if not the hardest, Tier 10 tank to get to grips with. The T22, which I also have, was easier to get to grips with than this. And the reason being is because its armor is so thin. Not only that, I'll show you a couple of clips later. The penetration on this thing can be a bit hit and miss. Now, I don't know if that's the tank or the RNG gods, but on some occasions, yeah, it's really hit and miss. But the biggest downside is the armor. Other than that, I mean, the gun generally is fantastic. It really is. I mean, it will reload in next to no time. Okay, it's not dishing out massive damage. It's an American tank. Not many American tanks, even at Tier 10, dish out massive damage, unless of course you get one of the tank destroyers. As a tank itself, okay, mobility-wise, it's pretty nippy. It's not overly fast, but it's pretty nippy. And generally, not too bad. Okay, you're going to be hard put to get 50 kilometers out of it. I mean, it is quite a heavy medium tank, but that's not the bad thing. I mean, I don't mind it being heavy, and I don't mind it not having a massive turn of speed, but it doesn't have any armor, and that is its biggest drawback. And you tend to find that you have to play this tank a lot more conservatively than you normally would in Tier 10. Now, okay, as we saw in the armor inspector, the front of it is pretty tough, but it's not that tough. You're still going to be penned. So you've got to be very careful where you stick it. It's definitely a haul down, and it's not a great side scraper. I mean, in fact, if you try and side scrape in this thing, it's going to hurt you. But as you've seen, we've just done over, what, 2,500 damage. We've taken a kill, and, you know, we've been a pretty good nuisance around the battlefield. And this is what this tank does. I did a video on the M48 a while ago, and I said the M48 loves being a nuisance when it's always active. And this tank really does like being active also. If you try and camp in it, it really doesn't like it. It's as simple as that. Because people can get shots on you, and because you're so easily pennable, it's a nightmare. Now, as you saw there, that was AP, and it didn't go through the side of that E100. Now, I always have a problem with E100s and the AP rounds on the M60. So I generally have to switch it to the heat round, which will generally do the trick. The heat will penetrate. But as I said, there are occasions when even the heat doesn't pen, which I will show you some videos of later. As you can see, we dispatch him in next to no time realistically. So it's 2 against 2. Oops, they're both out there trying to take out the IS-7. Now, the thing about this tank is, as I said, it's not the fastest tank. It really isn't. I mean, like I said, you're going to struggle to get it past 48 kilometers an hour. Thankfully, the IS-7 had dispatched one of them. He's now facing off against that Object 263, which is pretty formidable for me. I mean, okay, I've got just over 1,000 hit points, but he can wipe me out in 2 shots. Whereas he's at least good. If I get good rolls, he's a good 2-shot for me. Now, his armor is pretty trolly at the front. So you'll see people commenting and shouting at me, go, go, go. But there's no point going because I've got to get the right shot on this thing. I've loaded the APCR, which is its standard ammo, managed to get quite a nice 344 roll. We are now both at 1 shot. I've got my flashy thingy up. I'm hopefully reloading. He's a good player. He's put it in a good position. I managed to get a decent shot in, take him out, and walk away with some good damage. So this is the tank. I mean, we did 3,300 there. We take 3 kills. We did okay. This is the M60. It does have some downsides though, and let's have a look at this penetration. So here we are on Naval Frontier, get a good pen here on the Foch, easily through. Now watch this on the VK. Now I know I'm going to struggle with the VK. So first shot, can't really get him, miss, it's a bounce. It happens. You know, the VK is pretty trolly armoured. So let's have a go for the second shot, let's see if we can get that cupola. Yes, no, we don't. We missed that too. So let's keep going. Let's see if we can get something else. Here we go. Oh, we get the heat into his side. That's nice. That's beautiful. We can handle that. Now look at the front. Get a good shot in there. Got him down to next to nothing. He is now a 1-shot. So I'm lining up again. What happened there? It was a bounce. So lining up again. And I'm hitting the tracks. But this one doesn't hit the tracks. And it doesn't go through. Watch this on the E100. No idea where that went. Let's try that again. This time into the back of the E100 again with the APCR. Bounce. It's unbelievable. So sometimes, I don't know if it's the tank or the RNG gods, but sometimes it just doesn't want to play ball. And there you go again. No idea where that shot went either. Now, as I said at the beginning, I used to absolutely hate this tank. I could never get on with it. And I played it about, I don't know, 20 odd times over the last couple of days. And I'm starting to like it, funnily enough. It's still not my favourite tier 10, but it is a quirky little tier 10. And funnily enough, you can have some real good fun in it. Now, you've got to be very mindful that its gun isn't that effective damage-wise, but it's got a fast reload, and it can be effective because it churns it out. So, I mean, look at this, we're just churning it into that FV215B. The Leo's, yeah, we'll stick a 300 into you, and we get a nice bounce from the Leo. So, once you get used to this tank, it is actually a really good tank. And a lot of people hate it, and a lot of people slate it. And I can understand why, because it's a tricky tank to get to grips with. Now, I'm not trying to say oh, look at that, that's a great shot. Now, I'm not trying to say I'm anywhere near as good as some people are in this tank. I'm clearly not. Nice kill there. Get rid of him. But I do now enjoy this tank. And like most things in this game, when you get a new tank, you can't have an opinion in the first 10 seconds. You've got to play the tanks quite a lot before you start to understand how they play and how good they actually are and their little quirkiness. I mean, this tank is very quirky, I'll be honest with you. You know, the armor, as I say, I keep saying, is really meh. And the gun, but the gun is really good. You're not dishing out shed loads of damage, but it's a good gun. It's like a laser beam. It's like a Leo, to be honest with you. And I enjoy that. Okay, I'm not setting the world on fire. I'm not doing shed loads of damage here. You know, I did 3,300 in the last game and 2,600 in this game. But that's not the point of this tank. I mean, this is not bad. Okay, you go on to Blitz stars. There are people who are knocking out 7,000 in it. And I can only hope one day I can hit the 7,000 mark in this thing. I mean, I'm happy when I get over 3,500, to be honest with you. But we get a second class there. We do 2,582. We're pretty close to the top. Not a bad rollout in that tank. Here we go again on Faust. Now, I'm showing you these games because I want to show you that it's not a tank that I don't think it deserves its really pants reputation. Okay, I was in that camp of saying, oh, it's a horrible tank, but it doesn't deserve that reputation. I mean, look at this. I mean, okay, I didn't pen, but I took his tracks out. And the gun is fantastic. It really is a fantastic gun. And you can be slightly aggressive in it as long as you've got a good hold down position to fall back to, as you will see here. Now, I'm not going for the 54, I'm going for the object. The object 140 to me is a more formidable target than the T54, so I'm trying to take him out. He gives me a nice shot there. I get, he's now down to nothing. Unfortunately, I missed this next shot because, well, I just miss it. So, at the end of the day, I focus back on the T54. The object 140 is bugged out a little bit. I'm getting mullered quite a bit here. I've done over 1,000 damage. I've been a nuisance. I've allowed my team to come up in support. There's the object again. Now I can take him out, which I do. And there's a Type 61. We can focus on him. We can get some good shots into the side of him because he's not looking anywhere near where we are. There's that blooming E100. That's so difficult for this tank to pen. I mean, look at it. Everything is basically red. There's no point. I mean, I take a wild shot here, but there's no point me trying to even shoot him. T54 still hanging around. Get a good bounce there because he hit me straight in the front of the turret. I'm going to now chase him round. I can see the E100 is not focused on me. I'm going to chase the T54 down. I know he's going to hit me. I've got the hit points to do this brawl. I know I have. So I'm going to take another one into him. Boom, there he goes. Now I'm going to back away. I can see there's a TD coming around the back. The T54 is still focused on me, but he bounces and I take him out. Now I can get to the back of the E100 and to the side where I will pen, finally. And I don't have to switch to the heat, which means I get better damage. So here we go with the E100. Boom, boom, boom. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to kill him. Somebody else does. It doesn't bother me. Now I can swing round, look at this object, which is up here, and there we go. Stick one into the back of him, and somebody else kills him. 3,200 damage. We bounced over 500. That, to me, I think, is a really successful roll in this tank. And, like I said, this is just my personal opinion, but I think this is probably the toughest tier 10 tank you can roll out in. So we get 3,258, we get another second class, and we're the top tank. That I'm chuffed with. Here we are on mines, in my favourite position. I like camping, well, it's not camping, I like being just here behind this big boulder, because if you're in a hull down tank, it's a great position to be in. They've got to push up the hill, you're in a great position, you can get shots on. Okay, they may get a lucky shot every now and then onto you, but generally you can get good shots onto them. That was a bit optimistic by me trying to put a shot in over there onto that American TD. But not to worry. And there we go with the blooming E100 again. Look, I just can't pen anything on him. And I think somebody just shoved a heat round into me. And I finally get one into the nose of that TD. Over there, I can see a tank. Oh, I'm not going to be able to get him. And now I'm worried that the Leo is going to be able to get shots onto me. I need to repair my gun realistically, so I do. And I press the wrong button. There's the Leo again. He's, oh, nice bounce because he's hitting my turret. Can't really see my lower hull at the moment. So I'm being a nuisance here. I'm being a nuisance to the E100, the Leo, and the American TD over in the back. So I could push. There's no point me pushing. If I push, I'm going to get lit up like a Christmas tree. So it's better for me just to stay here and be a nuisance. As you can see, I'm constantly moving backwards and forwards, wriggling and jiggling, bouncing away, but getting good shots in return. I've done now 700 bounces, and I've dished out 900 damage. Okay, that one didn't bounce, but now I'm at 1,200 damage. We're not doing too badly. Now, I'm still trying to be optimistic. With that TD down there, it's just not happening. So I've now got to reevaluate. I don't think the E100 is focused on me. Maybe I can get something on the tractor. Yes, I can get a good shot in on the waffle tractor. The E100 is definitely not focused on me. He's behind a big rock. The Leo, I don't know where he's gone. I think he's been wiped out. I'm not sure. So I'm now going to make a break for the hill. And I get really lucky here, I'll be honest with you. That is a massive bounce. And I was lucky there. And there's the mouse. Okay, he's only got half his hit points left, but it allows me to start putting shots in onto the mouse side on. And I'm going to easily penetrate the mouse side on. And I'm in a commanding position here. And the mouse, bless him, he hasn't really got a hope and a house chance. He can't push too much forward because I know there's a big one of our TDs still sat there. So I get rid of the mouse. Mouse is gone. Now we've done just over 2,000 damage and we've bounced 1,000. So you can bounce shots in this thing. It's just more luck than judgment in my opinion, but that's just the way it rolls. So I know there's an E100 there. I know there's an American TD over there somewhere. And that's about the limit. I know there's a waffle tractor somewhere as well. And that's about the limit of my knowledge at this moment in time. Nothing else. In fact, nobody's showing on the map. So I'm going to roll around and see if I can do something over here. And lo and behold, there's a Jag Tiger. So I stick one into him and then have a little bit of lag, which stops me from rolling back quicker than I expected. Now, the E100 is not AFK, nor is he surrendered, funnily enough. He's just stuck, I think. Or he could be AFK. Even so, I'm just going to get 3 shots into him. So switch to the heat, because it's the only thing I'm going to pen at this angle. I'm just going to shove heat onto his turret all day long. And this is just free damage for me at the end of the day. He's clearly AFK. I don't know who put the shot in there. That was one fantastic, absolutely fantastic shot from over there. So now I've done over 4,000 damage. Okay, it's a bit of a cheat because he's realistically AFK. Now I've got the Jag Tiger pushing still. Stick another one just for good measure into the E100. Shall I take him out? I try, and I leave him on, what, 2 hit points or something. Now the Jag Panzer, now the Jag Tiger is pushing, so I've got to be careful here. Stick one into him. He misses. I can drop the adrenaline like I've done and roll forward. Stick another one into him, get a really good roll, leave him on 70 odd hit points. I'm pretty confident I'm going to get him, and boom, he gets me. 5,000 damage. We bounce 1,000. We eventually win the game. I get a first class for my tribbles, 5,400 damage, get a first class. I'm quite happy with that. I have got a mastery in this tank long ago. Anyway, I'm just going to leave you with how this tank can cope with other tanks. So here I am rolling around with a Jaeger. Now, like I said, a lot of people slate this tank. They think it's pants, or they think it's this, or they think it's that. I actually really do like it now. I used to hate it, but it's growing on me. Anyway, if you're lucky enough to have the M60, I hope this has been helpful. Like I said, I'm not the best player in it. By no means am I the best player in it. There are a lot of good players out there. In fact, I'm not even, I'm borderline average, to be honest with you. But it's growing on me, like I said. Anyway, guys, please comment below. Tell me your thoughts on the M60. I mean, I don't know if you've got it. Do you like it? Do you loathe it? What do you find good about it? What do you find tricky? What do you find interesting? By all means, like if you think the video is any good. And if you haven't subscribed already, please press that little button. It costs you nothing and it goes a long way for me to start doing giveaways, because people may start giving me stuff to give away. Who knows? Anyway, guys, until the next time, stay safe out there. Have fun on the battlefield and happy tanking, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? Fun and happiness. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this video has been useful, and stay tuned because there's even more great stuff coming up over the next few days, such as Aces of the Week and even more reviews.